welcome back to my channel. Today's going to be another Shop My Stash video, but I am testing out doing these in a different way. I feel like the way I've been doing them, where I just start out where like you don't even see my face at all, and then I just talk to you guys about my container products. I felt like I was just all over the place, all over the board, and it was just very hard to follow. So one thing that I did was I made a whole separate like container, if you will, a whole separate holder for all of the items going in my project pan, whereas before they were sitting in this acrylic container with everything else. So I'm really excited that I have those things separated now, because I feel like it's going to be easier for me to, one, focus on my project pan items when I really want to, but then also take a step back and make sure I'm still cycling through the rest of my collection, which I feel like I was starting to feel overwhelmed again by my makeup collection, because I felt like it was just all jumbled as one. So I kind of want to try it how Kelly Gooch formats hers, where she talks to you guys face to face about all the products that she used the last couple weeks, and then she still takes you shopping through her stash. So I'm still going to take you shopping through my stash after I talk to you guys about the products that I have been using, but I feel like this way I can just quickly breeze through all the items. I'm hoping maybe this will actually make my videos shorter. This introduction is going to be a little bit longer than normal, but after this introduction, I feel like the videos will go a little bit quicker. I can breeze through things, and for me, I feel like this makes a little bit more sense. Now, I would like your guys' feedback in the comments below if you'd like me to format it the way that I was doing. I want to give you guys, the audience, what you want to see. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, don't forget to do so before you go. I post videos every single Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. But without further ado, let's get into my Shop My Stash. Okay, so I figured doing it this way I'm not going to talk to you guys about my project pan items. You guys can go watch any of my project pan videos if you're interested in hearing more about the items in my project pan. So I felt like this would also help cut time, because I'm not constantly going through every item, including all my project pan items with you guys. So for foundation, I have quite a bit that was set aside for this last rotation. I got quite a bit of use out of the Physicians Formula Healthy Skin mixed with my L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow. I'm almost out of my Pro Glow. This is in shade 206, which is far too dark for me, but I use it as a mixer, and the Physicians Formula was a little bit too light for me. I am going to put the Physicians Formula away for a little bit just because I got some great use out of it. I'm just going to keep this in and keep mixing it with my lighter foundations until I'm done with this. I actually didn't get any use out of my Too Faced Peach Perfect foundation, so I'm going to keep this in for another rotation. And then my other two are basically going to be in rotation all summer long. I have my IT Cosmetics Your Skin But Better CC Cream that I just constantly have pulled because this has SPF 50 in it. So anytime I'm going out to the beach or doing something outside with my family, I always wear this. I've never burned wearing this. I love having this in my collection. I also have the Radiance one, so the reason I have this one pulled is because this one is older and been in my collection longer, so I'd love to get through this one this summer. And then I also have my I also have my Laura Mercier Tinted Moisturizer. This is the illuminating version, and I just always like to have a tinted moisturizer pulled. I do like to wear a tinted moisturizer when I'm going to the gym, and occasionally if I'm not looking for a lot of coverage for work, I'll wear a tinted moisturizer, so I always like to have a tinted moisturizer pulled. I only had one primer going outside of the primers that are going in my project pan, and it was the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. This is just a little mini guy. I really do enjoy this primer, but I did get some good use out of this the last few weeks, so I feel like I should put this away because I did just recently pick up a couple new primers, and I want to make sure that I am giving those some love right away so that I can really figure out if I like the formula or not, so I will put this away for a little bit. For concealer, I have my Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Concealer, which I've gotten some really good use out of the last month and a half to 2 months, so I feel like I should put this away for a little bit. And then I also had my Tarte Shape Tape pulled, which I used a couple of times. This is just so full coverage that I don't find myself reaching for it that often. I think I'm going to keep this in one more rotation and try and get some more use out of this. I do have two Tarte Shape Tapes in my collection, and this is the one that's been in longer, so I would like to work this out of my collection hopefully by the end of the year. And then I also had my NYX HD Studio Concealer pulled this last rotation. I'm going to keep this in another rotation because I did only use this one time. Okay, I really wasn't using powders a lot the last couple of weeks. I did have my Hourglass Veil Translucent powder pulled. I'm just going to keep this in. I really do like this powder all year round, but especially in the summertime. This is a really nice powder because it almost gives just like a natural glow to the skin without being glowy, if you will. So this is the one that I like to wear in the summertime, I found. I also had my Hourglass Luminous Light Ambient Lighting Powder pulled, and I didn't use this at all last rotation. I don't know why I'm swatching it. I feel like I'm gonna keep this in for one more rotation. I did get some use out of it the previous rotation that I was in, but I do want to keep it in for one more rotation. Okay, so for bronzer, I had the L'Oreal True Match Lumi Bronzer Powder. This is in the shade 1, and I actually really do like this bronzer. It's a little bit more cool toned, so you can almost, or I can almost use it as a contour, and it almost looks in the pan like it is going to be like luminous, which I don't really think I'd want like a luminous contour, but on the skin, it almost like contours without being glowy, but still your face has this just beautiful look to the skin. I've really been enjoying this, and while I did get some use out of it the last couple of weeks, I am going to keep this in for another rotation. I'm going to put back this little mini guy. This is by the Beauty Crop. I actually really do enjoy this bronzer. It's really freaking hard to open. It's in the shade Sardinia Sand. And this is another nice cooler toned bronzer that works really well as a contour for me, but I did get some good use out of it the last 2 rotations, so it's time to put this guy back. And then I did pull my Marc Jacobs Tantastic bronzer, which I used 1 or 2 times, but I still want to get some more use out of this, so we're going to keep this guy in another rotation. Okay, I always feel like I overwhelm myself with blush and highlight. So for blush, this guy has been in for 2 rotations. This is the NARS Holiday Palette, and it has 3 blushes in it. I've gotten some really great use out of this the last 2 rotations. I've gotten to use each of the shades multiple times. I've really been enjoying this shade right here, which I believe is in the shade Luster. It's just like this beautiful coral shade that gives like a really pretty glow to the cheeks. So I've really enjoyed this, but again, I've gotten some good use out of this, so I am going to put this away. I forgot to mention in the bronzer category, I had pulled the Balm Desert out, which is a darker bronzer and one that I can really only get away with in the summertime. I actually didn't reach for this at all, so I am going to keep this in for another rotation. I had pulled my Milani Coral Cove blush, which I did use 1 time, but I'm going to keep this in for one more rotation. I really do like this blush. It looks super intense in the pan, and you have to be careful with this one, otherwise you are going to have like just clown cheeks. But if you use this with the right brush and go in super light-handed with this can be so beautiful for the summer, especially if you have a tan going like I do right now. So I really do enjoy this one, and I definitely want to keep this in another round. My Flower Beauty Flower Pots blush in the shade Warm Hibiscus, which reminds me a lot of the NARS Orgasm blush. I've had going for 2 rounds now. I don't know why I'm swatching things. That's going to take way too long. Anyway, this has been going for 2 rounds. I've gotten some good use out of this, and it's time to put this away. Clinique Melon Pop. No, Ginger Pop. I only reached for this 1 time, and I want to keep this in for another rotation. I also had this blush topper pulled, and I maybe reached for this 1 time. This is one of the MAC Extra Dimension blushes in Fairly Precious. I'm sitting so far away from the camera. It has this beautiful like pink peachy shimmer, but it is pretty intense, so you have to be careful because it's like as intense as a highlight. I don't know if you'll be able to see, but if you're looking for a really glowy cheek look that day, this is going to give it to you. I am going to keep this in again because I did not use this at all. I'm going to keep this loose highlighter from Artist Couture in all summer long. This is in the shade Summer Haze. I've been raving about this, so keeping it all summer long. I'm ready to put back my Hourglass Absolute Strobe Light palette. I've used this a few times, and it's not my favorite. It's not like I want to declutter it, it's just not my favorite formula to reach for. Sometimes I feel like it's just so intense that you look like you have a strip of highlight across your face, and I just struggle to get it to blend out a way that I like it. Sometimes I can make it look beautiful, other times I'm like, not so much. I had my Milk Lipstick pulled. I feel like I'm going to keep this going all summer long. It's, I think, my only like cream highlight. So we're going to keep this going. I also had my Ulta Beauty Face Sculpting Color Stick. This might not be available anymore. I can't find it on the Ulta website, which makes me really sad because I do really enjoy this as almost as more of a face bronzer rather than a contour, but I'm going to keep that going all summer. And then I'm also going to keep this going. This is a little Milk Cream blush in the shade Work, which is just this really beautiful rosy toned blush that I really have been enjoying as well. I always have my Fenty Matchstick in Amber going just for my nose contour. And then for my mascaras right now, I have the waterproof Milk Kush mascara, Too Faced Better Than Sex, Marc Jacobs Noir, and Wander Beauty Mile High. These are going to be in rotation for a while. The next one that will be expiring, I believe, is Too Faced Better Than Sex, and I believe I can use this one through the end of August. I usually like to recycle mine after the 4-month mark. Recycle. Get rid of mine after the 4-month mark. I love to layer my mascaras too, so I typically have 4 open at a time. I'm just that extra. I always like to have an ABH Glow Kit going, and I had selected the Sun Dipped Glow Kit, which I didn't reach into, I don't think, one time this rotation. So beautiful for the summertime. I need to not ignore it. So I'm going to keep this one in. This one has also been going for a couple of rotations. This is the Tarte Clay Play 1 palette, and I've actually really enjoyed my time with this, but actually no, I'm going to keep this in for one more rotation. We're keeping this going one more rotation. I also had pulled my Laura Geller Baked Gelato Swirl palette. And this just has 3 of her highlighters in it. Really love this palette and got some good use out of this, so I will put this away for a little bit. And then I had also pulled my Tarte Blush Bazaar book, which comes with a ton of different blushes. I used, I think, 3 or 4 blushes out of here, and I feel like this is more suited to the fall time. There's a couple of blushes that I can get away with in the summertime, but for the most part, I feel like I'm gonna have better luck if I pull this in the fall, so I'm gonna put this away for right now. And then the last 2 products to mention, I had pulled my Stila Shimmer and Glow in the shade Kitten, which I have really been enjoying. I'm gonna keep this going, and I may even pull one more like shimmery lid topper just because it's so easy. I've really been enjoying that for the summer. And then I also had pulled my Tarte Chrome Paint Shadow Pot in the shade Top Yacht, which I actually have on my eyes today. Today was the first time that I had used this. So I'm going to keep this going one more time. I didn't realize how intense this was, or I had forgotten how intense it was, and I really like it. So we're going to keep this going. Okay, you guys, I have moved my makeup organizer into my room. I did a little feng shui last weekend, and now my desk is in my room too. So anyway, I moved my primer collection to the same organizer as my foundation collection. Sorry if it sounds like I'm out of breath. I literally just finished a workout. So for foundation, it's been a while since I have used my CoverGirl Healthy Vitalist Elixir foundation, so I'm going to grab for this, and then I actually am also going to grab for my Becca Aqua Luminous foundation, which I just recently purchased. Instead of putting all of my new products in my bottom drawer, which was considered like my new product drawer, I just put everything that's new in with like its makeup category, if that makes sense, because it's easier for me to just look and see all of my concealers rather than be like, oh yeah, I have 2 new concealers in my drawer. Anyway, this is a new foundation in my collection, and it seems like it's going to be a really good one for the summertime, so I definitely want to pull this out as well, and then we will call it good on foundation. I'm going to pull the 2 new primers that I have purchased and that are in my collection. One is the Pores Be Gone Matte Primer from First Aid Beauty, and the other is the Ofra Bronzing Primer. So then in my first drawer is all of my powder and concealer, and I actually am not going to reach for any new powders. I currently have the Hourglass loose powder, and then I have 2 pressed powders that I'm currently trying to pan. For concealer, I'm again going to reach for one of my newer concealers. This is the Elsie, I think it's the Slick Concealer. Silk, oh my gosh. It's the Silk Concealer. So I'm going to reach for this, and that will leave me, I think I'm still left with 3 concealers. I think I'm just going to focus on those 3 for this rotation. Next is my bronzer drawer, and I actually feel like I have quite a bit for bronzer already in my stash. I'm going to call it good for bronzer, and we're not going to choose anything. Actually, it's been a while since I reached for my Essence Sun Matte Bronzing Powder, so I'm going to pull this in as well.
Okay, so next up is my blush drawer, which is looking super, super full. So I know I really wanted to reach for this Laura Geller blush because it's been a while. It has been a while since I have used this, and this is a really nice, it has like a satin sort of sheen. It's really beautiful for the summertime. This is in the shade Tropic Hues, so I'm going to pull this in, and I feel like every rotation I overwhelm myself with blush, so I think we're going to call it good for blush. Okay, so then I have two highlight drawers. Here is my first highlighting drawer. Let's get in focus. I am going to pick out the Pixi Glowy Gossamer because I just recently picked this up. And then we're going to go into, oh, I want to pull my Bobbi Brown highlight. This is in the shade Afternoon Glow, which is just too dark for me most of the time. But with the tan, I want to see if I can make this work for me. So then into my second drawer, I feel like I'm going to call it, no. I need to start using some of my Wet n Wild products so that I can either pan them or get them out of my collection, and it's been a really long time since I've reached for one of the Mega Glow highlighters from Wet n Wild, so I'm going to grab the Precious Petals highlighter. Okay, then we have my single shadows drawer, and I'm not going to pull, actually, you know what, I will pull one Urban Decay shadow. You know what, I'll pull this. Okay, so this is the shade Chopper from Urban Decay, which used to be a favorite of mine back in college. But it has all these glitter flecks in it. I don't know if I'm going to love this anymore, but it's been so long since I've reached for this. I really should start to cycle through some of my single shadows, so we'll grab this and call it good for this drawer. Okay, so then we're in my mascara, eyeliner, and brow drawer, which I typically don't really reach for. You guys know for eyeliners, I just pull those as like I need them for specific looks. Brow products, I should start to cycle through. You know what? Actually, maybe I will grab my ABH Brow Definer. I really don't enjoy this product, but I'd like to see if I can maybe just get some use out of it and finish this up. And then for mascara, I have way too many mascaras going right now, so I won't be pulling a new mascara. And then finally, we have my face palette drawer, and I'm going to be reaching for this new one that I picked up from NARS. This is the Hot Nights face palette. I still have my ABH Sun Dipped Glow Kit, so I don't really feel the need to pull anything else. I am doing 2-week rotations now, and I just don't want to overwhelm myself with so many products that I feel like I'm never getting through anything. So we're going to call it good for this drawer. Here is where my eyeshadow palette collection lies for the most part, but if you guys missed it, well, first of all, I'm doing the 19 Shadows in 2019 project, but I just started a new series on my channel called Eyeshadow Palette Roulette. I'll leave it linked, but you can find out what eyeshadow palettes I'll be focused on this month if you watch that video. Okay, you guys, and then for lip products, again, I never like to like pull anything. Maybe I should do like a lip product. If you guys have an idea for how you want me to share like what lip products I'm using, let me know, but I pretty much just grab whatever I feel like is going to go with my look. This is where I keep all of my lip products, which I still have way too many. But I don't like to pull specific lip products and feel like limited by that. Also, here's my Dose of Colors, which I love. Okay, you guys, here is, it looks really messy right now, I feel like, but here is where I store, or where I like, basically my makeup hub, where I get ready in the morning time. So here are all of my picks. This looks so messy. It looks so disorganized, but essentially, here are all of my picks for this rotation. There's my project pan bundle, there's my palettes, and yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Please be patient with me while I kind of figure out this new style of how I want to film. Also, I'm feeling just a little bit off today, so I apologize if the shopping my stash, like, we're gonna figure this out together. But I hope you like this new style of Shop My Stash, because like I said, I just felt like the videos were so long, even though I feel like this one's gonna be long. And I just was kind of getting bored with the way that I was filming it, so I hope that you overall like the new way that we're gonna try it out. But we'll see. Other than that, you guys, thanks so much for sticking around to watch. Leave me a comment and let me know what products you've been focused on lately, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye, guys.